Thank you. We're following breaking news this morning, a major decision on President Trump's tariff policies from the U.S. Supreme Court.
Fox 12's Bonnie Silkman is in the newsroom now with more on the ruling. Bonnie?
That's right. Good morning. Just coming into the newsroom this morning, the Supreme Court just delivered a major blow to President Donald Trump's tariffs plans, striking them down in a 6-3 vote. That's the big news this morning. And the justices ruled that the president exceeded his authority under the law he used to justify the tariffs in the first place. So it is worth noting 2 of the president's own appointees joined the majority in voting to strike down these tariffs. Now, the law the president cited to justify the tariffs is the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Now, that allows the president to regulate trade in a national emergency, but it does not give them the power to impose taxes or tariffs. That power belongs to Congress. Now, many businesses, as we've reported, and states have challenged these tariffs. In fact, Oregon led a coalition of states arguing that the tariffs went beyond the law's limits. And in a very rare move, a lawyer from the Oregon Department of Justice argued this case before the Supreme Court. Now, just this morning, Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield sent a statement in reaction to the news, stating, quote, "Today, the Supreme Court made it clear that no president gets to levy taxes on Americans disguised as tariffs." He went on to say, quote, "The evidence shows that the cost of tariffs does not land on foreign producers. It gets passed straight through people at the checkout line." The president's own lawyer told the justices of the Supreme Court that 30 to 80% of tariffs are paid by Americans. Now, meanwhile, this morning, CNN is also reporting that President Trump called the ruling a disgrace this morning at a White House breakfast with governors. Now, in terms of what happens next, that's really the big question. The court did not clarify on whether any tariffs already collected will be refunded. So a lot of questions this morning as to what happens next now that we have this news that the Supreme Court has taken down and has ruled that this will not be happening, that the tariffs will not be happening. So we're going to keep a close eye on this and continue to get more reaction from leaders here in Oregon. For now, reporting live in the newsroom, Bonnie Silkman. Good day, Oregon.
All right.